Hello, welcome to My Green Pets. Oh my goodness, this is one of these days that I'm just so excited to share everything with you. In the tent today, there is some beautiful stuff going on. Several plants in bloom, fragrance pouring out of the tent. Some good, some not so good. Let's just jump right in and have a look. First of all, Signochus bronze Vixen is in full bloom. Her flowers are lovely. They are a beautiful olive green color with kind of a yellowish uh, tip or edges, and then of course the lip there is kind of an interesting color as well. Very, very pretty flowers and a wonderful fragrance. They smell so good. It's just this lovely, sweet fragrance that they have. Love them. Sorry, not very good description. Next to it, we've got Signochus Nebula. I got to name this cross. I emailed Fred Clark and said, hey, do you mind if I name this one? He says, sure, go ahead. It's got really nice speckles on the lip, but don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I'm not super thrilled with the, how muddy the flowers are. There's really not clear spots. They're kind of, and also the columns are kind of bent. You can see the columns are kind of bent there. Right behind it, look at this. We've got Rebecca Northern with some nice spikes. This is Aurora. Looks like around 16 on each of those two, and then there's two more on another bulb back there. So we might get a really decent display from Rebecca Northern this year. That's great. Been fighting the mites, and hopefully the mites are not going to eat the Cloecia flowers like they did last year. Hopefully not. Fingers crossed. Right up front here, we've got Signochus Fire Embers. You may remember Fire Embers from its two award-winning spikes earlier in September. But wait, it's not done. It's got 1, 2, 3 more spikes growing out of this not that big of a plant. Now, this last one has kind of stalled, so it may not actually go through with it. But just the fact that this plant is trying to do this is amazing, because we can predict that once it gets larger and has more back bulbs and bigger pseudobulbs, it's going to be able to do something like this, put out maybe a total of 5 spikes in one season. That's pretty crazy. I did some rearranging, and I moved my Signochus varsovicii out of the way for now, since there's so much action happening around out front. But it does have a spike back here that it's working on. And as that continues to grow, we will get to see that. But right now, it's just kind of out of the way. And overall, for the catasetum types, I'm reducing water at this point. So the concentration of fertilizer is still the same. It's around 25 ppms or more for every watering. But there is some yellowing happening, especially some of the Cloecias are dropping leaves. And it's time to cut back on the water. So I'm not letting them dry out, bone dry completely. I'm just not watering them as often as I was. Next to it, our old friend, Hal Bulbophyllum Medusa with a beautiful little flower. It is smelly as usual, perfect for the week of Halloween. This flower opened earlier this week, and it will be done probably tomorrow. Right in front of it here, we've got Maranta Machupicu with a little bud that's just about to open up. You can see it's starting to crack on the sides there. It's got 2 additional spikes back here. And then it's working on several other spikes, at least 3, maybe even 4 more spikes pushing out of this really big group of leaves that have just done so well this year in spite of the heat. And I attribute it to perhaps they've gotten cool nights. I cool it down in here to about 65 degrees Fahrenheit. So about 17 degrees Celsius. I cool it down. And now that the days are shorter and temperatures are dropping, it doesn't get as hot in the tent as it did. So that's probably helping as well. It's 24 degrees in here right now. And then let's check this beauty out. Oh my gosh. Is this my favorite orchid? It very well could be my favorite. I love Bulbophyllum Medusa. It is the most spectacular thing ever. It never fails to amaze me. It never fails. One, the flowers only last about 3 or 4 days, really 3 days in their peak condition. After 3 days, you start to see the tips start to they get all kind of dried up and start getting crumbly. And then just, I mean, they come out so nicely. Now, I am very meticulous about this plant, and so I do stake spikes to make sure that they come out the way that I want them to come out. So I do a lot of arranging, a lot of moving things around when it blooms, because I want it to come out just, I want it to be a lovely balance. I want all the flowers to be seen. And oh my gosh, it is just so wonderful. Look at that. Look at this beautiful creature. It's so, and you know, this thing doesn't bloom but once a year. It doesn't, I've never had it put out multiple flushes of flowers. I can imagine that once you get a pretty large specimen plant, you might be able to get that where different parts of the plant are blooming over the course of a few weeks or something like that. But the effect, the fact that this plant is, there's communication happening throughout the entire plant so that all of the spikes push and bloom at the same time, that alone is mind-blowing to me. I just think it's so cool. Anyway, I love this plant. And on that note, I'd like to share something with you a little bit different, but very, very interesting. I think I mentioned to you that I am been collaborating with a professional photographer. His name is Chris Field. His organization, I guess he's got his own business. It's called Biolapse, and you can check him out at biolapse.com. Chris has worked with the BBC. He's worked with, I think he's worked with National Geographic. I mean, he's a professional photographer. He specializes in time lapse and really dynamic time lapse where the camera is moving throughout the time lapse. So I just want to share with you a clip from my other Bulbophyllum Medusa. It's this plant, my Miami clone. And I sent it to Chris. I took it down to him, not just on the day that the flowers started poking open or popping up open. And this was the video that he was able to create from that. So have a look. Is that crazy? Is that cool? I mean, to have, I would love, unfortunately, you know, you can see these plants. I wasn't, Chris lives about an hour away from me, and it's a little bit difficult for me to get down there to coordinate that kind of stuff. So ideally, I would love to get all of my plants recorded in that time lapse to show. I think it just really highlights how magical they are. But anyway, I wanted to share that with you and hear any thoughts that you might have. But just also wish you a happy last week of October. And I believe next weekend in the United States, we're setting our clocks back to regular standard time, and bye-bye daylight savings time. So once again, I appreciate you guys stopping by and checking on My Green Pets. I'm William Green, and have a great week. See ya.